The battles for Velyka Novosilka in Donetsk Oblast continue. There, the army of the aggressor country has found itself in a so-called fire pocket. This was reported by the 110th Separate Mechanized Brigade of Ukraine. The battle for the city continues. The enemy has found itself in a fire trap. It cannot advance further, and at the same time, it is forced to reinforce its units in the city, the statement said. It is noted that aerial reconnaissance is operating in Velyka Novosilka, which records the movements and presence of occupiers. In addition, FPV drones and artillery enter the battle, which build up the basements in which the enemy has taken up positions, burying them there alive. Now the enemy does not understand what to do. The effect of the propaganda flag has ended, but the occupiers have not stopped dying. The defenders emphasized. The village, with a pre-war population of 5,000, lies only around 15 kilometers from the administrative border with Zaporizhia Oblast and 20 kilometers from Dnipropetrovsk Oblast, a region so far untouched by Russian occupation. The 110th Brigade said that both Russia and Ukraine had parity in equipment, but Moscow had significant advantage in manpower. According to the Ukrainian military, Russian forces will struggle to advance their offensive onward. The Mokry-Yaly River creates an obstacle for Russia's advance, and Russian troops are in a vulnerable fire pocket, said the brigade. Recall that, as reported by the media, the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of Ukraine, Oleksandr Syrsky, stated that the Pokrovsk direction remains one of the hottest on the front, and fighting continues there. Ukrainian soldiers are continuously inflicting losses on the Russian occupiers. The representative of the Lugansk OTG, Dmitry Zaporozhets, reported that the occupation army of the aggressor country Russia in the Toretsk direction is actively using mines to destroy shelters and mine areas for moving forward. In addition, it is known that Ukrainian military personnel were able to stop the movement of Russian occupiers along the railway line between Kotlin and Pokrovsk.
Denmark's Prime Minister insisted on Monday that Greenland is not for sale. According to Associated Press, Mette Frederiksen also called for a robust response from her European Union partners should US President Donald Trump put tough tariffs on Europe. She was speaking after Trump said he would press ahead with his threat to take control of the island. Frederiksen said she has great support from her EU partners on the fact that everybody has to respect the sovereignty of all national states in the world, and that Greenland is today a part of the Kingdom of Denmark. It's part of our territory and it's not for sale. Greenland, home to a large US military base, is an autonomous territory of Denmark, a longtime US ally. Last month, Trump left open the possibility that the American military might be used to secure Greenland, as well as the Panama Canal. "We need Greenland for national security purposes," he said. She acknowledged US concerns about security in the Arctic region, where Russia and China have been increasingly active. "I totally agree with the Americans that the High North, that the Arctic region is becoming more and more important when we are talking about defense and security and deterrence," Frederiksen said. She added that the US and Denmark could have stronger footprints in Greenland, in security terms. "They are already there and they can have more possibilities," she said, underlining that Denmark itself can also scale up its security presence. "If this is about securing our part of the world, we can find a way forward," Frederiksen said. Last week, her government announced a roughly 14.6 billion kroner agreement with parties including the governments of Greenland and the Faroe Islands to improve capabilities for surveillance and maintaining sovereignty in the region. It would include 3 new Arctic naval vessels, 2 additional long-range surveillance drones and satellite capacity, the Defense Ministry in Copenhagen said.
I think we have been very clear from the Kingdom of Denmark, with great support from the European partners and the European Union, that everybody has to respect the sovereignty of all national states in the world, and that Greenland is today a part of the Kingdom of Denmark. It's a part of our territory, and it's not for sale. The chairman, the leader of Greenland, has been very clear that they are not for sale. I totally agree with the Americans that the high north, that the Arctic region is becoming more and more important when we're talking about defense and security and deterrence. And it is possible to find a way to ensure stronger footprints in Greenland. They are already there, and they can have more possibilities. And at the same time, we are willing to scale up from the Kingdom of Denmark. And I think NATO is the same. So if this is about securing our part of the world, we can find a way forward. There are many reasons why we are one European Union, and one of the reasons for that is that we are willing to help each other and to stick together. And I will never support the idea of fighting allies, but of course if US puts tough tariffs on Europe, we need a collective and robust response. Thank you.
Ukrainian armed forces have deployed a US-made 155mm high-precision laser-guided M712 Copperhead projectile on Russian troops in Kherson region. The video capturing the Ukrainian strike on concrete shelters of Russian occupiers were circulated in social media on Saturday. Earlier in November, the M712 Copperhead was deployed to destroy a communication tower to the east of Sudzha town in Russia's Kursk region. 3 rounds of ammunition was used to strike the facility, and the shooting was conducted from the M777 howitzer. It is not yet known from what sources and in what quantity the Ukrainian Defense Forces could have received the M712 Copperhead for use against the Russian army. However, the very option of using guided munitions with laser illumination to destroy enemy targets has its own prospects, especially against the backdrop of the advisory's active use of electronic warfare, according to Defense Express publication. Created during the Cold War and designed to destroy fortifications and armored vehicles, the M712 Copperhead is a high-precision, laser-guided 155mm caliber artillery projectile. M712 Copperhead aims at target using a laser beam. The firing range is in the range from 3 to 16 kilometers. The mass of the projectile itself is 62.4 kilograms. Serial production of the M712 Copperhead started in 1978.